tequila I drink, the corner again.
Sorry.
No.
Okay, go.
I do this all the time, bro. Neither do I.
You know that was 10 minutes down.
Yeah.
So,
But, yeah. You know why we didn't have Christmas? Because I fucking said we didn't have Christmas. What? Hey look, this goes into Christmas Grinch.
hey guys, kia ora, whakaalofa atu, and welcome back to the vlogs. As you can see on today's vlog, I have a special guest. This is my dad. Welcome to the vlogs. Thanks for sitting down with me today. With Christmas rolling around, I thought it would be a good idea to sit down with my dad and ask him why he was the Christmas Grinch. Growing up we didn't celebrate Christmas, and that's what this vlog is pretty much all going to be about. And I don't really notice when I was growing up. It wasn't until I got to about high school and I was like, wait, what, I'm missing out on something? Like, what's this Christmas thing? I'm going to hand it over to my dad and get him to introduce himself.
My name is Falanisi James Tamasi. I was born in Auckland, New Zealand, 1971, June 8th. Yay! My dad was from Rasta and Weed, just to give a bit of context of the environment that I grew up in. And perhaps, yeah, the past is like a different country. They do things different back then. So, growing up in the 1970s, my dad was from Rasta and Weed, Maihi. And he came over in the 1950s as New Zealand opened its borders to Polynesian immigrants to prop up the economy. And sent by my family to see what all the hype about in New Zealand. So he came to New Zealand in the 1950s. 1970s he had me. I met my lovely mother, Robin and Carrie, and I came out of the world 1971. So I grew up in the 70s. Polynesia, New Zealand, Polynesia, capital of the world, and at a time where late 80s, was even the 70s, we went through protests of apartheid, and there were dawn raids, and basically the cops would bang down your door if you were a Polynesian house and ask for your passport, and if you didn't have one they would throw you in jail. Send you back to the island, So that's kind of the context. So already there was an uprising, so to speak, or a look at the system that was going on and the general populist ideas of society. There was people who were looking at it sideways and just saying, nah, you know, that's not really cool. So introducing myself, I grew up in that environment, 70s, 80s, 90s, and
let's jump into the first question. And the question that kind of like made me think of this vlog was, why do we not celebrate Christmas? Why do we choose not to celebrate Christmas?
Okay, so I was born in 71, yeah, and me. And
did you celebrate Christmas growing up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we did actually. Like, I remember a few occasions I had a piece of wood, and I put a nail in the end, and that was a CD. And I wrapped it in a newspaper, and that was a gift. So, pretty cool gift. What was the question? Oh, yeah.
So you got Christmas and I didn't get Christmas, so why?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So basically we were brainwashed, and no. But yes, but no. Basically Jesus was not born in July. Was not born in December, but was born in July. Yeah. Where was I?
So why did we not celebrate
Christmas? Interesting. Basically we saw that the 25th of December was not the day that Jesus was born, and we were where I am down with JC, and I thought it was Jesus not born in December 25th, so we didn't choose to celebrate his birthday on there like everyone was telling us he was born on there. Everyone was telling us a lot of things. They were telling us, growing up in the 70s, I was told a family is mum, dad and 2 kids. My beloved mother passed away when I was 1.5, and so I didn't fit. So my dad was Niuean, had the thick, accent, was dark. I'm quite a fair Niuean, and so we stuck out. We were always on that edge of, not really accepted by the Niuean community and not really accepted by the European community. So we just basically said, fuck you all, we'll find our own way. And we did that in a manner of sense. And one ways of finding that was finding the 12 tribes of Israel, which was, for lack of better words, a Rastafarian community in Auckland, New Zealand that had sprung out of the Polynesia Panther movement, which had basically sprung out of dawn raids and the not fitting in a colonial system in terms of the colonial society. So yeah, that community rose up, and my brother and sister found that community and showed it to me, and I joined that community. And one of the things in that community was reading the Bible, the King James 1711, 1611, which version have you got? But or edition, Schofield Reference Bible, which to read it 1 chapter a day basically. Started Genesis 1, tomorrow Genesis 2, blah 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 blah. And then find out for yourself, and it just seemed the more I'd been to church on Sundays, and it was kind of cool, but I was always the token, ragamuffin youth sort of thing, so I didn't really fit. But whereas with this community, it just seemed to make sense. If there was a God, people would be like, yeah, Rastafari, and all, charismatic and just fucking out of it, cats, but still making sense of society and making connections between that and the Bible and world views. So in doing that, the general viewpoint of Christmas was it had joined links with some horrific historical events that had happened in history, pick apart I suppose, but just to give the context of what connections and that we joined was that 25th of December is not not even the month Jesus was born, and it's provable. It doesn't really take a mad scientist to understand it. Using the Bible as a historical reference and a historical document, it says in Luke that the angel Gabriel, blah 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 blah, but pick point, say particular month, and you can do the maths from there, 10 lunar months, which gives you July. And in saying that, we looked at the 25th of December as Babylon, so that's why when you guys came along, obviously we want the best for our children and everything, and we didn't really see, besides the economic side of it, because we were broke, not like broke, I only got $50, but like broke, like cuzzy, can I borrow $10? That kind of broke, because and so the economic means wasn't there. But above that, we didn't want you to buy into the bollocks. At that time, we thought it was the best possible thing as a young parent. I mean, I was 21, 22, I think, when you came.
Yeah.
And so I was figuring shit out, and I thought, wow, fuck, what do I give to these children? Oh, you know, a Bible, a bed, a bike, you know, a sleeping bag.
Sleeping bag, I remember that.
A jacket, you know, one of
Bike.
those jackets,
Yeah.
so if you're stuck outside, you should be able to fight.
Yeah.
You know, in my small world, I thought that would be the best thing that I could give to my children. The 25th of December came around, and you know, it was like, you know, it was the morning and there were crickets. We didn't have Christmas. In terms of, hey, let's run to the Christmas tree. There's presents under the tree. Yay, there's presents for me. Like, you know, all that fun and
So growing up, we didn't celebrate Christmas, but now, like to this day for me, I know that I don't really have like that sentimental like feeling that I feel like a lot of other people have around Christmas and stuff like that. To me, it's kind of just like another day. If anything, it's kind of like a day where all our family can come together and we can like celebrate the year that was and just be together and celebrate all our achievements of the year and just like have a big feed and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what I do now on Christmas Day. Do you celebrate Christmas today? And if you do, how do you celebrate Christmas?
Hold on. In the past, we didn't really have that family connection. It was me, your mum, and my brother was there, and his missus, you know, at times. So we weren't accepted in, well, I felt we weren't really accepted in the New Zealand family, and my mother's side, because of the tragic events that happened, you know, with their passing. I didn't know, you know, no one. Like it wasn't until I was like 30 something that Jules, one of my cousins, reached out from Chi from Christchurch, and it was the first time I saw a photo of your grandmother, my mother. So I don't know shit about shit. Me and your mother were both from dysfunctional families. I in the face of teenage pregnancy, and you know, when I was 17 and mum was 16, so we're that face where, you know, already growing up we didn't fit. Hafakasi didn't fit, you know, mother forsake you, father forsake you, Rasta take you, so fit, and then create our own family, and in the Rasta community, no one looked down on us. No one, you know, the door was still open, was always open for us to come, and yeah, that's something I didn't really recognize until later on, and that's why we gravitated towards this community of freedom fighters / misfits of colonial society in the 80s and 90s, 2000, and still continuing. And yeah, so, you know, that's another reason, but the question was blah blah blah.
The question was,
Yeah,
do you celebrate
why is
Christmas
the
now?
Colour blue. The sky is blue because yes, so now give thanks to be able to fly back to NZ, and off the back of some mahi over there for Northern Base. That's a fist pound.
Too many shout
by the
outs.
way.
No.
Yeah. And to go over there, do some mahi over there, and then on the back of that I spend my Christmas with the fams back then. But just to acknowledge, I suppose, that it started off me and your mother, and now there's lots of us. You know, you know, God bless the tree, and the tree's got many branches now, and this is, you know, one branch of that tree. So yes, I go back to New Zealand and shared Christmas Day, the pagan festival, where motherfuckers went to Jerusalem and killed priests and offered them up on the altar, and Coca-Cola Santa, which is what it was to us back then, and is not to me now. Just go and spend it with the family and watch the grandkids. Hello, grandkids, my chosen children. We shall make the world a better place.
So that's only question 2. We've got so
Me,
many
me,
more.
me.
So going back to TTI, you talked about how you found it. So you found TTI, 12 Tribes of Israel, through your brother and your sister.
Yes.
And so what? So going back there, what is Rastafarian, and what do you believe in?
Well, obviously I can just speak for myself. I can't speak for a body of people. For the interest of this conversation, we're calling it Rasta, and I suppose I have to give the context of what I understand Rasta. What is Rasta? Okay, to me, mother forsake you, father forsake you, Rasta take you. So it's a community of people that follow the teachings of the Bible. Basically follow the teachings of Haile Selassie, Nagusa Nagas, Nagusa Nagas Haile Selassie, for lack of better words. Some people say His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. So in terms of a following or role model, I think that's probably the better word. Haile Selassie had some really cool shit to say, and it was helpful for me in my growth. When he came across the Rasta community that said read the Bible 1 chapter a day and find out for yourself, and if it's in there, then and you want to come and join the community and fit in where you get fit in. So when you ask what is Rasta, for me, Rasta has been the role model that wasn't really there.
Okay, so when people ask me, like, if I go to church or whatever, when I was growing up, when people asked me if I was going to church or if I went to church, I'd be like, I don't know, like, sometimes I wouldn't want to open that question up, because people just always come. This is the first question people ask when I say, oh, like, I grew up in a Rasta church. First question they ask is, do they smoke weed there, and does everyone have dreadlocks? Those are the first questions that come out of their mouths. So in saying that, a lot of people think of weed and dreadlocks when they hear Rastafarian. Would you say that there is a connection?
Obviously, yeah. I think from the outside looking in, from the inside looking out, I didn't even smoke weed, when I first came to the house. Mind you, I think I was like 14. I didn't have dreadlocks, my hair was cut short. I was another general misfit that played sport. However, do we smoke weed at church? No. Yes. Same, different. So generally, because it is illegal in some countries, the opportunity to express or investigate your inner consciousness is illegal. But generally, you did not smoke at church because the cops could come and close down the church. Was one of the reasons. And the viewpoint, let's just be clear, Rasta is not about weed, and it's not about dreadlocks. It's not a hair doctrine, and it's not a plant doctrine. It's a functioning of one's heart, mystical incorporation of unity in one, and plain words to be born again. So we had the understanding that it's not what goes into your body that makes your spirit good or bad. It's more like what comes out. Like if I go, fuck, cunt, bitch, is worse for me to talk to you like that and for my spirit than to smoke, basically. but also everything has a balance, whereas too much of one thing is good for nothing. And so there was this common sense kind of approach towards marijuana. We have a lot of influences. Bob Marley was an avid smoker, and when you look at history, there is parts about smoking. So yes, you can smoke weed. Dreadlocks also something from the Bible. So for me, dreadlocks is mentioned in the Bible, from my understanding, and the vow of the Nazarene was part of the historical reference of Jesus in the Bible, and to my understanding, in their time, a lot of people, the norm was dreadlocks and beards. So with that understanding, the vow of the Nazarene, you make a personal vow with God, your own, and you don't cut or pole your hair. When you comb your hair, it's like poling, hair comes out, or trim the sides of your beard. But understanding that it's not a hair doctrine, for me, symbolically, this reminds me, as does this, this reminds me of my mortality. I underneath that is me. That is the tragedy of life. Everyone will die, and so will you. So say something, do something. You know what I mean, to make it a better place when you leave than it was when it came in. So dreadlocks is a very personal, if not looks fucking cool. Yes, there are connections between dreadlocks and marijuana. However, the marijuana is not in like a drinking a 40 or drinking an alcohol kind of. There's some a spiritual aspect in there.
Cool. Thank you for that. Do you call yourself a Rastafarian?
Do I call myself a Rastafarian?
Or do you say like I'm a Rasta?
Call me by my real name, Mount Vesuvius. Do I call myself a Rasta? No. No. I don't call myself a Rasta. Jesus didn't call himself a Christian, Buddha didn't call himself a Buddhist. I don't really know much about Buddha. Can you say that? I don't know. So, Rastafari didn't call himself a Rastafarian. He was basically a man that was born, and he did some good things. He had books written in the people's common language. He opened up schools for people to get educated. He was Christian, so he followed the teachings of Jesus, for lack of a better word, Eastern Christianity. So when Bob Marley came to New Zealand, he went, Rastafari is God. A lot of people thought that, but for myself, understanding the context of what colonial world says is God. Yeah, what was the question?
Do you call yourself a Rasta?
Do I call myself a Rasta? No.
Yeah, same with me. I wouldn't say I'm a Rasta, but like when you're trying to explain these things to people, like how you grew up, I say, I grew up in like a Rasta church or a Rasta community. Last question. Coming back to Christmas, do you regret not celebrating Christmas?
No. No.
No regrets.
It's not only that, obviously as a young parent or a young family, you try and do the best possible thing for your kids that you may seem at that time. Do I regret Christmas? No, not at all. No regrets. You kids were the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. True story. I was going nowhere real fast. You know what I mean? And even though hit and miss, you centered me and gave me a purpose to try and strive for something that was bigger than myself. I chose the musical career, Shefu in the crates, and bang, 12 Tribes Band, and bang, Butchers, 12 Tribes Sound, and bang, you don't know.
And for me as well, like growing up, well, you kind of don't know what you don't know, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like I've always been different in the way I am in the world, and that's just another thing that's kind of different. I'm kind of glad that we did it the way that we did it. And it's good to know where that all came from as well. And plus, we don't have to buy presents at Christmas time. So that's a huge plus. Well, I'm in Melbourne, so I got nobody on my Christmas list.
I'm going to give you something you can get whatever you want.
Yeah, but that is it for the vlogs. Do you have anything else to say before we wrap up?
Appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate what you're doing. All you cunts out there, fuck. Life's unfair and wolf. Just be a good cunt. Do what you do. Don't doubt yourself. You are God. You know, but not in a colonial way. In a way where we all are the same. But do you bleep stuff out?
Not really, but
No
I might
bleeps.
have to. I swear all the time.
Yeah.
I don't find anything wrong with swearing, but some people find it offensive, so.
Yeah. All the best. Ciao.
Cool, as always, thank you so much for watching the vlogs. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this vlog of getting to know us a little bit better, and about why we didn't celebrate Christmas. And on that note, have a good Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yo,
Bye.
Merry Babylon. Boom, bitches.